Noise is everywhere. I bet there isn't a place on earth where you can't hear anything. I live in the city, so noise is everywhere. Sometimes it gets to me. I really want to have a button to turn it off. It's amazing how much noise there is around us. We usually never even think about it. Listen now to the noise around you. Cars, computers, music, people talking. It's strange to think that in the past few decades people have been talking about noise pollution. That's a really good description. Noise is quite often pollution. It's stuff that makes our surroundings unpleasant. I wonder if there is any kind of noise that is good noise. The very word noise has a negative meaning, but if you say sound, it has a different meaning. I love the sound of Barbies laughing. Our nose is the strangest of all body parts. It's such a funny thing. And where is it? Right on the front of our face, right in the middle. It would be okay if everyone had exactly the same nose. But we all have a different nose. Some of us have a big nose, some a small nose. Some of us have a crooked nose with big nostrils. My nose is one part of my body I'd really like to change. It's too big for the size of my face. When people talk about why other people are beautiful or handsome, no one says, because he or she has a nice nose, or ooh, his or her nose is just so sexy. I suppose if you really don't like your nose, you can have a nose job. Unfortunately, not all of us can afford cosmetic surgery. Many scientists say nuclear energy is our future. Many normal people aren't so sure. I think most of us worry about nuclear energy. We hear on the news about the dangers of nuclear power. Many years ago there was a big accident in Chernobyl, Russia. A nuclear reactor caught fire and melted. Because of this, deadly radiation spread across the whole of Europe. There were reports that sheep in England caught radiation sickness. I think things are safer now. Many countries trust nuclear energy. France and Japan each has dozens of nuclear power stations. I think it's probably a good idea. We really need to stop using fossil fuels. Nuclear power is a lot less harmful to the environment. Perhaps we need to spend more money on making it safer. Nuclear weapons are the worst thing invented by man. The day we invented them was a black day in our history. Fortunately, they have only been used a few times. We only need to read the history of what happened in Japan to understand why nuclear weapons must never be used again. The Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki were destroyed in an instant. Hundreds of thousands died. Today, nuclear weapons are 100 times more powerful. It's scary to think how much harm one nuclear bomb could cause. Even scarier is what happens if terrorists get hold of nuclear weapons. I fear for our future. One day, all countries will have nuclear weapons and then we'll be in real trouble. Just stop and think how important numbers are to our lives. Numbers control us. In fact, we are numbers. We have passport numbers, social security numbers, ID numbers, and more. We live in a house and a street that has a number. We communicate with each other using telephone numbers. We worry about how small or big the numbers are on our bank statements. We can't survive without numbers. Most of the world cannot function without the numbers 0 and 1. These are the two numbers computers use to run their programs. I don't think numbers were always so important. Maybe 500 years ago, we only had to remember the number of sheep, goats, or children we had. I wonder how many numbers we need today. Nursing is one of the greatest professions in the world. It's so much more important than most jobs. The sad thing is that nurses get paid so little. They do such a valuable job but get paid less than politicians. This is not right. Politicians do whatever they can to take our money. They even vote to stop nurses getting increases in pay. This is wrong. Governments need to do more to help nurses. There should be a bigger focus on the profession. I would much rather have more nurses than more weapons. A few years ago I wanted to get into nursing. I met some nurses who told me not to. They said the job involved too many hours, too much paperwork, and not enough pay. That's sad. We can't afford to treat nurses so badly. Obesity is a problem that is getting bigger and bigger around the world. It really hits rich countries. When people have money, they buy a lot of the wrong food. They become lazy and eat fast food. They also forget about exercise and sit in front of the TV instead. The worrying thing is that more and more children are suffering from obesity. This is a big problem. The number of overweight kids I see today is amazing. I think the reason is quite simple: junk food, video games, and the internet. When I was growing up, I had a balanced diet. I also spent most of my free time outdoors. I spent hours every day on my bike or playing football. Kids today hardly go outside. They are glued to one kind of screen or another: TV, computer, or games console. I really worry about our oceans. Not many people understand how important the oceans are. Every day we hear stories about the rainforests and the ice caps, but we rarely hear about the oceans. They form most of the Earth's surface and most of the world's species live in them. They are responsible for weather patterns and a lot of the world's foods. The problem is they are becoming very polluted. Many fish species are in danger of dying. The coral reefs in our oceans are also in danger. We really need to think more about our oceans. We have to protect the life in them or we might die. I love the ocean. I love the sound, the smell, the color. I feel so happy and relaxed just looking at the ocean. Oil is good and bad. It's good because it helps our energy needs. It's bad because it causes pollution. Oil is a fossil fuel. Burning it produces carbon dioxide, CO2. This is one of the biggest causes of global warming. There isn't much oil left in the ground. Some people say it will all be gone this century. I suppose that means we won't make as much pollution. But what will we do when the oil runs out? Scientists are working on that right now. We need to do something because we use oil to power our cars, homes, and factories. Whatever we replace oil with must be better for the environment. I don't think all producing countries are happy their oil will run out. They need to start thinking about how to make money after the oil has gone. I like the expression okay. I don't know why it's so useful. Everyone in the world understands what it means. It must be the only word that everyone knows. Is it a word or is it an abbreviation? We spell it okay but abbreviate it as okay. I wonder how many meanings it has. You can ask if someone is okay if they are ill. You can ask if someone understands a question or instructions using okay. You can even let someone know enough is enough by saying okay. If you say something is okay, it means you don't really like or dislike it. In fact, sometimes if you say, he's okay, or she's okay, it means you don't really like them. I think okay is also a verb. I have heard people say, it's okay, John okayed it. I'm a bit worried about my old age. I don't really want to get old. I like being young. On the other hand, if I do get old, I want to live to be over 100. I'm hoping old age will be nice. It seems a time when you can relax and slow down. Of course, you have to slow down because your body wears out. There are two things I'm worried about. One is money. I think if you are old and poor, you'll be miserable. No money to enjoy yourself. Maybe not even enough money to eat, pay bills, or go to the hospital. That's scary. The other thing I worry about is being in good health, especially my mental health. I imagine I'll be happy in my old age. I have so many hobbies and I know I'll enjoy doing them all every day. I love the Olympics. It really is a unique and special world occasion. There's only one event in the world better than the Olympics, and that's the Football World Cup. Anyway, the Olympics really is a celebration of humanity. The whole world watches and gets excited. We love watching our heroes trying to win gold. I don't usually get excited about seeing my country's flag, but at the Olympics I love it. I think the Olympics were better many years ago. Then they had traditional Olympic sports. Nowadays we have professional tennis and baseball stars playing in sports that aren't really Olympic sports. I would love to see an Olympic Games. Maybe I'll be lucky and get a chance to see the London Games in 2012. The number 1 is a good number. Maybe it's the best number. Why? Because everyone wants to be number 1. It's actually a very useful word in English. There are so many different expressions with 1. Of course it's a number and useful in maths, but there's so much more. Try a little experiment, write down all the common word partners of 1. I can think of loads right now. One way, one world, one chance, one time, etc. There are also lots of expressions, such as 1 in a million or 1 at a time. I'm sure if you looked in any dictionary you'll find hundreds of useful things on 1. If you want some really detailed info on the word or number 1, go to wikipedia.com. 1 really is one useful word. Operations are amazing things, unless that is you're having one. I always think it is incredible how doctors can cut people open and repair their body. It must take great skill. I can't believe some operations can take over 12 hours. I've had a few operations in my life. I have very mixed feelings about them. My worst fear is that I'll die. My biggest hope is that the operation will be successful and I'll make a full recovery. I also think about how interesting it is. I like watching all the things the doctors and nurses do before the operation. I'm really nervous, but it's like being in the middle of a TV documentary. I once had an operation and I was awake for the whole thing. I could see lots, but I won't go any further. We all have opinions on everything. Some of us have very strong opinions, others have not so strong opinions, and then there are those who say they have no opinion, which I suppose is some kind of opinion. It's interesting how our opinions can be so different, even on the smallest of things. It's also interesting to see how your opinions change as you get older. My opinions of other people change a lot. You have first impressions of someone, that's your initial opinion. Then, as you get to know them, your opinions of them can change for better or worse. Whose opinion is right? I suppose it's the person who is strongest. They try to force their opinions on others. It's important to listen to and consider the opinions of other people. The question of organ transplants is a difficult one. Not for me, though. I'm quite happy to donate all of my organs for transplants. I don't mind my body being donated to science after I die. I think it's much better to be useful even after I die. I would be so happy to know that my heart was used to save someone else's life. I don't need my eyes after I die, so it'd be great if someone else could use them to see. Even though I want my body to be used for medical science, it feels a little strange to think that medical students will be cutting me up. I know in other parts of the world there are many people who don't like the idea of organ transplants. They believe the body should stay in one piece. I hope that changes because doctors really need the organs. Overpopulation is a real problem. It could kill the earth. Very soon there will be too many people and not enough land. There won't be enough farms to grow food for everyone. We'll eat all of the fish in the sea, and our pollution will cause more global warming. I think we are in a very serious situation. I don't know what the answer is. Our leaders don't seem too worried. They never see the bigger picture. The world's population is exploding, and explosions cause great damage. More and more people are living longer and longer. We have better medicines. Our scientists have found cures to many diseases. There are many reasons. What we really need to do is think about how overpopulation is damaging the earth. I first heard about the ozone layer about 20 years ago. I was still in school. I thought it was interesting, but I didn't take it seriously. It was a bit like science fiction. I mean, how could there be a giant hole in the atmosphere? Over the years, more and more scientists spoke about the ozone layer. Global warming became a serious issue. Important people like Al Gore made movies about it. We all know today that the thinning ozone layer is perhaps the most serious crisis we face today. Even though many people have changed their lifestyles, we are still damaging the ozone layer. We need to do something really drastic to stop this. We all need to stop driving cars and stop using coal. That would be a start. I like painting. It makes me very happy. I loved using paint when I was young. I was really good at drawing even in elementary school. My school reports said I had a talent in art. I won the school painting competition many times. My friends say painting is difficult. I disagree. All you have to do is pick up a brush and put the paint on the paper. Anyone can do it. It's child's play. I don't understand why people say they can't paint. For me, it's so easy to paint. It's the most natural thing in the world to do. My friends say my paintings look so real and that their paintings look like children's paintings. I'm not sure why this is. I'm lucky, I guess. I don't know what I would do without painting. It really helps me to relax. Are you a panic? I am sometimes, although I like to think I'm not. I panic when I'm really late for something important. Panicking in this situation is really no good. It won't get me there any quicker. It will only make me look really panicked when I get there. I also panic if I think I've lost an important computer file. I don't panic, though, in emergency situations. I think I'm good at staying calm and helping others. There have been a few times when people asked me how I could stay so cool. I guess everyone is different. Imagine what it's like to be a soldier. Do they panic? Do police officers and firefighters panic? They always keep a cool head. A lot of people panicked recently in the financial crisis. Losing money always makes people panic. I think paper is one of the best inventions ever. Without paper, we would all still be farmers. The discovery of paper was the start of the first information technology revolution. Okay, it's not very technological, but it did change our lives. We started to write down our history. We wrote down poems and books and plays. We also wrote our holy books on paper. Then, one day many centuries ago, someone invented the printing press. Suddenly, people printed hundreds, thousands, millions of books. Society changed because more and more people could read. We became educated. We can't live without paper today. Even though we have the internet, we still love reading real newspapers, we still read real books, and we still write messages on paper. Being a parent is the biggest responsibility we can have in our lives. It's scary if you think about it. You have to look after a tiny baby for years and years. It is your duty to make sure that little baby grows up into a wonderful, happy, and responsible human being. Parenting means knowing everything from day one. This is a shock to many parents. I didn't have any parenting lessons. I suddenly had a baby to look after, but it's not that scary. In fact, parenting is life's biggest joy. I can't put into words how wonderful it is to be a parent. My biggest worry is that society doesn't focus on parenting. We really should have classes at school on being good parents. I'm sure we would reduce the number of problems in society if we did this. There aren't enough parks in my town. I don't know why. I think it's terrible. I think the biggest reason is greedy property developers. People are more interested in making money from office buildings than making a nice town. We need parks. Our children need somewhere to play. Many people live in apartment buildings so they have no garden, which means we need parks. City planners can't be very good at their jobs if they don't make parks. When I was younger, there were parks everywhere. Children could run and run and run. There were big areas of grass. We played football and other games, but they've all gone. Now there are shopping malls and car parks where the real parks used to be. Today, children play in the shopping malls. This is not good. I love parties, they are always so much fun. I can't think of a better way to spend an afternoon or evening than going to a party. You meet people, eat delicious food, and have lots of fun. I've always loved parties. I remember the birthday parties I had as a child. Such wonderful memories. I also remember the first parties I went to as a teenager, all-night parties where we danced and chatted until morning. I've lost count of the number of parties I've been to. Dinner parties, beach parties, New Year's Eve parties, birthday parties, the list goes on. One party I'd really like to go to is the Queen's Garden Party. Of course, this is in England. If you go to this party, it means you've done something special in life. All I have to do now is think of something special to do. Passports are interesting things. I wonder who decides their design, who thinks up the words to put inside. They are also pretty simple things. A passport is really just a tiny book full of empty pages and some personal information and a photo. I've always thought it must be easy to make a fake passport. I've heard passports sell for a lot of money on the black market, especially American ones. Without a passport we can't travel. Our passport makes it so easy for us to go anywhere. I love it when my passport gets old because it's full of visas and entry and exit stamps. Passports were originally for ship passengers, a pass for the ports during a sea journey. Perhaps today they should be called something different. I love pasta of all kinds. Anything with pasta is always delicious, especially if it's from Italy. For many countries, pasta is a new addition to the menu. In England, just after the war, there was no pasta. Once a newspaper tricked people with a photo of a spaghetti tree. Today, everyone in England knows about pasta. It's one of the most popular foods in the world. Spaghetti bolognese and lasagna are now international dishes. What I don't know is how many different types of pasta there are. Hundreds, I think, in all different shapes and colours. What I do know is that they are all delicious. Pasta is very versatile because it has so many uses. You can also eat it when it's hot or when it's cold. People say patience is a virtue. I agree with this. Having patience is a good part of someone's character. Not everyone has patience. These people get angry and frustrated quickly. They can't wait. If you have no patience, you want everything to happen right now. Children often have little patience, especially when there's a present to open. They get really impatient and want to open the gift immediately. We become more patient as we get older. Perhaps we learn how to be more patient. In today's world, you really need patience because we expect everything to happen straight away and often it doesn't. I'm quite patient. I need it for my job. I'm a teacher, so you need to wait for people to answer and learn. Peace is the one thing we all hope for in the world. I wonder if it will ever come. It seems so simple, really. Why can't everyone live in peace? It seems a lot easier to do that than to fight useless wars. If there was peace in the world, everyone's life would be better. Governments could spend all the money they waste on armies on education and healthcare. We really need peace. There have been too many wars in our history. I would say well over 99% of the world's people want peace. Only a tiny minority doesn't want peace, although they say they do. World leaders need to think more carefully about how they can achieve peace in the world. Do you have a pension? I didn't have one for many years. I always thought it was strange to start saving in my 20s for life in my 70s. Now I wish I had started my pension earlier. My pension would be much bigger. The pension my government will give me isn't so big. It isn't really enough to survive on. Nowadays people need to think carefully about their pension and how they will get by when they retire. I'm lucky because I live in a country where the government gives you some kind of pension. In many countries you get nothing. I can't believe the pensions some people get. When company CEOs retire, they get a multi-million-dollar pension. That doesn't seem fair. They aren't better than other people. People are strange when they are strangers. That's from a famous song. I do agree with it, although I do think all people are strange. It's a good thing that people are strange. If we were all the same, life would be boring. It's the fact that we are all strange that makes us all different. I like people from all over the world. It's sad that all people don't get along. Many people say I'm strange. I'm not sure why. I always think I'm pretty normal. The people I like best are those who help other people. They make the world a better place. The people I hate most are greedy people. They usually take the things other people need. All people need to think more about how they can help others. Who likes perfume? It stinks. It's one of the worst smells in the world. I hate it when someone walks past me with really strong perfume or cologne. It makes me feel a little sick and I worry about the chemicals in it. Why do people need to wear so much perfume? What's the point? I thought the original idea of perfume was to cover the smell of our bodies when we didn't take a bath. Everybody showers or takes a bath these days, so there's no need for perfume. It's also a waste of money. How can a tiny bottle of strong-smelling water cost so much? I think the perfume companies are making huge amounts of money. I wonder how many people agree with me on this. What do you think of perfume? Is it okay for men and women? One of my friends always seems to have personal problems. Sometimes it's a relationship, sometimes it's family, and sometimes it's her. I'm not sure why she has so many personal problems, and I think many of her problems aren't really problems at all. She's a bit of an attention seeker. I think she invents problems just so she can talk to people. She likes people to feel sorry for her. I think it's amazing how many people talk about their personal problems on TV or on the radio. Who cares? There are much more important things happening in the world today than someone breaking up with their friend. If you think about all the terrible things happening in the world, our personal problems really aren't problems at all. What kind of personality do you have? Do you ever think about your personality? I do. I think it's very interesting to explore personality. My own personality has changed a lot over the years. When I was a child, I was painfully shy, but now I'm brimming with confidence. I have learned how to be with people and let my true character shine. The personalities of my friends have rubbed off on me, which I'm happy about. There are parts of my personality I'm not too happy with. I'm quick to get angry with people, and sometimes I sulk when I don't get my own way. I think overall I have a good personality. I'm easy to get on with and I'm quite happy and cheerful. I might take some personality tests and see what they say about me. Everyone needs a pet. It's really cool to look after an animal of some kind or even a bird or insect. I've always had pets. When I grew up we had 3 dogs, 5 cats, a tortoise and loads of rabbits. I lost count of the number of rabbits we had. Pets are really important for kids. Looking after a pet teaches the child responsibility. It's cute looking at the way children play with their pets. They always seem to have so much fun. I wonder if pets like being pets. I think if I were a dog, it'd be a good life to be a pet. I get all my food given to me, I have somewhere warm and dry to sleep, and I get to run and play lots. I suppose if you had a bad owner, that wouldn't be good. One day I want an unusual pet like a tarantula or a scorpion. Everyone knows a lot about philosophy, even if they don't know it. We are all philosophers because we all have views and opinions on life. We don't all know about the philosophy that people study as a university subject. I know the names of Aristotle, Plato, Nietzsche and Freud, but I don't really know what philosophy they spoke about. I also know Descartes' famous quote, I think, therefore I am, but I can't get too excited about it. I once read a book called The Tao of Pooh. It was the philosophy of life according to Winnie the Pooh. I liked reading that more than most philosophy books I've tried. My philosophy on life is to always try your best, help those around you, and to always be positive about everything. Phobias are interesting things. Some of them are very serious and can have a really negative influence on life. The most common phobias are the fear of open spaces or closed spaces and the fear of heights and flying. Doctors say all phobias are treatable. Phobias are irrational fears of something. There is no logical reason why someone is afraid of going outside or of flying. It's all inside the sufferer's head. I understand some phobias like the fear of flying, but not others. Some people are afraid of Barbies or computers, and even of peanut butter sticking to the roof of your mouth. That phobia has a really long Latin name. I wonder if there's a phobia about the English language. Perhaps that's grammarphobia. Photography is one of the world's best-loved hobbies. Recently, it seems as though everyone in the world has become a photographer. It's so easy now to take good photographs. When I was a teenager, photography was one of my biggest hobbies. I loved taking photos of all kinds of things. I also had a lot of photographic equipment. I couldn't wait to get my photos developed. Now there are digital cameras and phone cameras. Anyone can take really good photographs. What's more, we can use all kinds of software to change our photos and display them online. I think photography will get easier and more interesting in the future. I still think great photographers will be like great artists. I don't know how people understand physics. I think it's a fascinating subject and really wish I understood more. Physics seems to explain everything about our world and our universe. It's as though physics is the key to unlocking all of our world's mysteries. I really enjoyed studying physics at the beginning. It was interesting then. But then it got difficult and I couldn't understand the formulae. I have a lot of respect for physicists. They seem to be able to understand lots of really difficult things. Without them, we would still be living very basic lives. Physicists have sent people to the moon. Their research has led to all of our modern technology. I always read fewer and fewer students are choosing to study physics. This is a shame. Everybody likes picnics. Going on a picnic seems to be a popular activity all over the world. Having a picnic makes everyone happy. There's usually lots of delicious food and somewhere nice to eat it. I think it's interesting to see the different things people take on picnics. In England, people take a picnic basket full of sandwiches and cake. In India, people take small metal containers of curry. In Japan, people take square boxes of food that are beautifully presented. I think it's easy to tell where picnickers are just from looking at what they bring to the picnic. The great thing about picnics is that they are outside and you can eat and feel the warm sun. I've never heard of picnics in the snow, although I guess they might happen somewhere. Pilots do very important jobs. They have the lives of all their passengers in their hands. I wanted to be a pilot when I was little. I thought it would be great to fly all over the world. I also liked the pilot's uniform. I wasn't so good at science, so I dropped that idea. I think being an airline pilot is a unique job. It is quite glamorous, it is well paid, you travel and you are your own boss. There's no one telling you what to do. The pilot just has to get his or her schedule and then fly to the next destination. And they get the best view from the cockpit. I think pilots see some amazingly beautiful things as they fly through the clouds and towards the rising sun. I wonder if pilots ever get fed up of flying. Everybody loves pizza. It must be the most popular food in the world. I don't know anyone who doesn't like it. I absolutely love pizza. I'll eat any kind any time of the day or night. Hot pizza, cold pizza, pizza with pineapple, whatever. My favorite pizza is, of course, the traditional type made in Naples in Italy. Just the simple dough with nothing but cheese and tomato, it works for me every time. I remember the first pizza restaurant opening in my town. I was so happy. I tried out all the different toppings and switched between deep pan crusty pizzas and those with a thin base. I love half and half pizzas. You get 2 tastes for the price of one. I also had all-you-can-eat pizza a few times. Not such a good idea if you worry about your weight. Okay everyone, today's topic is plagiarism. If you don't know what that is, it's copying stuff from books or the internet without letting people know where the stuff came from. Lots of people do it nowadays because copy and paste is so quick and easy. It's okay to copy and paste small chunks of someone's work, but you must make it clear it's copied, and write from whom you copied it or where you got it. Put the text in quotation marks and say something like, according to. And then put the writer's name. The best thing is to go to the internet and search for how to cite sources. English Club.com has good information on how to do this. The best thing is to make sure what you write is really from your head.